Okay, so when we think of Ramadan, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Right, fasting. No food, no water from dawn till dusk. But what if that's just scratching the surface? What if the hunger itself is a key? A key to unlocking something way deeper inside of us? That's what we're going to dig into today. We're going to uncover some of the hidden meanings of Ramadan and figure out why this practice is considered such a powerful tool for, well, for transformation. Let's get right into it.
And that really begs the question, right? It's the big one. Why would God want his servants to stay hungry? I mean, it seems kind of counterintuitive. Why would a merciful creator want people to go through this? Well, the answer, it's not straightforward. It's actually hidden inside this incredible ancient story.
It's a parable known as the story of the self. In Arabic, it's called the Nafs. And you can think of the Nafs as our ego, that little voice that's always saying, me, me, me. And this story, this parable, holds the very first secret of fasting. It explains exactly why hunger, of all things, is the tool of choice for this kind of deep personal change.
So picture this. The story kicks off right at the beginning of creation. God creates the self, this ego, and he asks it a really simple but incredibly profound question, a question that cuts to the very core of identity. He asks, who am I and who are you? And this self? It doesn't even blink. The answer is immediate, just full of this confidence in its own separate being. It says, you are you, and I am me. I mean, wow, that's a bold statement, right? It's basically a declaration of independence, pure ego.
Okay, so to deal with this pride, the self gets put through a couple of tests. First up, fire. It's thrown into hellfire. It burns, it gets completely broken down. But guess what? It gives the exact same answer. I am me, and you are you. The fire just couldn't break its pride. But then comes the second test. A totally different approach. It's not about punishment, it's about deprivation. The self is just starved. And you know what happens? Under the weight of that hunger, its pride just disappears. It collapses.
So now, imagine the scene. The self is weak, completely drained by hunger. Its strength is gone, its pride is shattered. And at that exact moment, the same question is asked again. Who am I? And who are you? This time, though, things are going to be very different. And the change is just massive. The self, totally humbled, gives a completely new answer. It says, you are my Rabb, which means my Lord, my sustainer, and I am your weak servant. That arrogant I am me is just gone. Poof. Replaced by this total recognition of its own weakness and dependence. And that, right there, is the heart of the story. You see, punishment, even something as intense as fire, couldn't actually humble the ego. It could hurt it, but not change it. It was weakness, the deep, profound weakness that comes from hunger. That was the only thing that could actually break that pride and lead to real submission. And that's the first major secret of fasting. So this whole idea of using absence to learn something new, it opens up a whole bunch of other wisdoms. It's not just about the ego. This experience of temporarily losing something, food, water, it unlocks all these other really deep lessons. It's all about what you learn when the things you just assume will always be there suddenly aren't.
You've probably heard this quote before, right? If they cannot find bread, let them eat cake. Now, whether it was actually said or not, it perfectly shows a huge disconnect. If you've never been truly hungry, you just can't understand what it's like. And that's what fasting tries to fix. It's designed to build a bridge of empathy. By having everyone, rich or poor, experience that same hunger, it connects them in a way that just talking about it never could. It's empathy through actual experience.
And this really gets into the psychology of it all. Think about it. When something is always there, it just becomes wallpaper. We stop noticing it. We take it for granted, right? That's heedlessness. But when you take it away for a little while, everything changes. That temporary absence forces you to pay attention. It wakes you up. Suddenly you're aware, you're grateful, and you remember where that blessing actually comes from. Here's a great way to think about it. That sip of water you take at your desk, it's just water. You probably don't even think about it. But imagine you've been in the desert all day, completely parched. That same sip of water, it's like the most amazing thing in the world, right? It's unforgettable. Fasting basically creates a little desert in our everyday lives so that when it's time to break the fast, that first sip of water isn't just water. It's a blessing you feel in your soul.
Another way to look at it is like a spiritual gym. Seriously, think about it. During the day, you're training yourself to stay away from things that are normally totally okay. Food and water, right? They're halal, they're permissible. And the whole idea is if you can train yourself, if you can build that muscle to say no to something you're allowed to have, imagine how much easier it becomes to say no to something you're not supposed to do. It's like this quiet little revolution against your own knee-jerk desires. Okay, so up to this point, we've been talking a lot about the individual journey, right? The personal transformation. But that's only half the story. Ramadan has this other massive dimension to it, the power of togetherness. There's this incredible energy, this tangible force that's generated when millions of people are all doing the same thing at the same time in perfect sync.
And the metaphor for this is really cool. It's like an organized army of believers. Just think about the discipline. Everyone starts fasting together, down to the minute. Everyone breaks their fast together. It's this amazing display of unity and obedience, all following one single command. And the belief is that this powerful collective state, it's especially good at attracting God's mercy.
There's this fantastic analogy to explain this. It's about buying tomatoes. Weird, I know, but stick with me. If you're just buying 1 or 2 tomatoes, you're going to pick the absolute best ones, right? Perfect, no blemishes. But if you're buying a ton of tomatoes, like a whole truckload, you're not picking through them. Some of the weaker, not-so-perfect ones are going to get swept up with the good ones. That's the idea here. In Ramadan, everyone comes to God as this giant crowd. And in that massive collective act, the mercy is, well, it's more wholesale. The people with faults, the weaker ones, they get swept up and accepted along with everyone else.
So, okay, after a whole month of this intense training, both on your own and with the community, what's left? What's the point? What are you supposed to carry with you for the rest of the year?
Well, it really boils down to 3 lasting marks that Ramadan is meant to leave on you. Number 1, a real sense of gratitude. Not just being thankful, but knowing who to thank without getting mixed up. Number 2, willpower. Real, solid willpower. The strength to not do something, even when every part of you wants to. And number 3, this deep awareness of unity. The realization that there's strength in numbers and that mercy is often found when we're all in it together.
And at the end of the day, the month ends. We go back to our normal lives. But the real test of Ramadan isn't about what you did during those 30 days. It's about what lasts. It's about the transformation that sticks. So the final question isn't, what did I accomplish this month? The real question, the one we have to ask ourselves is, who did I become? And that's a question we're thinking about long after Ramadan is over.